Hello everyone, this is BIGALSKI,
And this is JTB.
and this is Chapter 12 of the Xbox One release of Ninja Gaiden Black on normal. The walkthrough showing different ways to fight enemies. We're going to talk about a lot of things this chapter. It's going to be a very informative chapter. The first part that I'm going to do is showing 3 ways to skip the stadium puzzle. I didn't even know about this way until JTB was telling me about it. But this way, and then the other 2 ways that have been known for a while, thanks to our good buddy Kiori. And you know, when I look back and forth with this camera, you know, when you're in first person, going right makes it look one way, and then when you're in third person, going right makes it look the other way. So see, that just confuses me. I'm old like that.
Do you have your that reminds me, you know the horizontal camera controls in this? By default, they're inverted. They're like pivot style, and it always throws me off. You know, whenever I play like a new game, when I played NG for a while, and then I go back to play like something else that's got third-person camera control, there's always that weird adjustment of like, oh, these aren't inverted. This feels slightly odd,
Right.
because I spent so long playing this game, you know, that has inverted controls.
Right.
So I'm more used to it that way.
So real quick on the stadium challenge, you know, I'm just running up the wall, B and then Y. That's kind of all it is to get up to the top. I mean, that's been known for a while, but again, if everybody didn't know the 3 ways, that was it. So one of the things that we're going to talk about here, because all I'm going to do is just power through this, we're going to talk about the essence chapter. Yeah.
A quick side note, I mean, anyone that's following will see, I've been doing a no UT run lately. I'm so jealous seeing these UTs. I've missed UTs so much over the past few days. Like, oh, they're so good. UTs, look at that.
I kill all 3, yeah, in like a couple seconds. Yeah, when you're not used to it. That's going to be a great run, guys. He's doing it on hard, so be looking forward to that whenever it comes out.
Yeah. I'm trying to think when this goes up. Like, I hopefully should have like some early stuff up by the time you guys see this. But anyway, as we tend to do, getting off on a tangent, essence bonus. That's what we were going to talk about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the essence bonus for the chapter. How you make that is one thing to note as well. It's actually completely different in Black and Sigma. It's much easier in Sigma, but we'll explain how it works in Black first. To get the 10,000 points essence bonus, you have to finish the chapter with a minimum of 2,000 more essence than you started the chapter with. And that is taken from when the end of chapter screen goes. So for example, in chapters like 9 and 14, there's a fight immediately after that. You know, you have the fish in chapter 15, and you've got the imps in chapter 10. The essence figure that the game is keeping track of is the essence at the very end of the chapter, so keep that in mind when you have encounters right at the beginning. And anything over that will not get you any more points, and it will also stack up to the next chapter, which is why you don't want to be, I mean, we've mentioned it a few times, you never want to be too far over your essence bonus. You know, if you're like 20,000 over your essence bonus, that's not really good, because then you are putting the beginning marker for your next chapter's essence way higher than it needs to be. And if you ever end up capping out your essence at 99,999 before chapter 15, you will not be able to make the essence bonus in the following chapter, as the game can't process anything over 100,000 for essence. So that's pretty much the gist of it. In Sigma, it's actually much easier. You just need to finish with 2,000 essence, which is really easy. In some ways, I kind of wish Black was the same. But you just need 2,000 essence more than 0, and then you'll get it in Sigma. But in Black, it's a much trickier thing to manage in Black as opposed to Sigma.
But you know, it's easy to burn off. Just use do an empty ninpo, and then refill it with a great devil elixir. So that's a good way to, you know, fire that off. This was actually I'd kill all 3. Again, part of me with the karma run aspect of it, you know, it's like, man, I could just get 1 UT, but you know, I really like 2. So again, I know I've gotten away from just, hey, whatever happens, but you know, that's one of those hard things. Now, the reason I switched over to the Chucks, again, because I have the level 3 Davi, I'd kill all 3 of them every time. And
yeah,
with
exactly.
the UF, so I wanted to try something, you know, a little bit different here. Again, thanks to Kiori with the fire wheel tricks, or trick.
When they grab you through it, though, that's annoying.
Oh yeah, well, I've got some good bloopers of that. But again, you know, like I said, I have to use the nunchucks and then use the UF because I know they're going to come up and circle me. And so I have a good chance where the Dobby might miss, you know, one of them. So I think I'm doing all the fights here too, and that you could do. I mean, you can get 3 UTs out of that, but again, I didn't want to go through the hassle of that. Mm-hmm. And this fight right here, you can actually, you know, do it here because the timer starts. If you wait until chapter 13, the timer starts before you even get to the drawbridge, and then it still goes while the drawbridge is lowering. So a lot of people just do it here. For some reason, I was thinking, man, you had to swim back through the monastery and, you know, all this crazy stuff. It's like, no, just come back up here.
Come back through here, yeah.
It's like, well, man, what's going on here?
Funnily enough, actually, I don't think we mentioned it in chapter 4 or chapter 5, but if you don't unlock that red door, you have to swim back through. I think that's where that came from, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't unlock the red door, there's no other way to get to here, is there?
Wow, that's really testing my knowledge here.
I'm trying to think if there's another way.
Yeah.
Like, is there another way here?
Well, I think somebody who had done a run said that that's what they had to do to get to this point. So again, you know, back then a lot of stuff that we said is because the game was new.
Yeah.
Now that it's been out for a long time, you know, we're really, you know, exploring new things. Now, one thing I do here is I actually go and lower the drawbridge, so when 13 comes, I can just run across it.
Yeah, that's good. You know, I just had an idea. On that fight, I just thought you could go through the right-hand door, couldn't you? In theory, because you unlock that gate, don't you, in chapter 8?
Yeah.
You could come back through here and go the long way around, and then you'd actually be able to start the fight immediately and chain a UT. Because even with going up the stairs, you lose like about 5 seconds on the timer.
See, we're still trying to figure stuff out while we're doing commentary. That's
there you go, man. Points for the that's some points for the next guy. There's a bonus UT on normal for the next normal karma run that someone does. There's an extra 5,000 points. You're welcome.
So what I did on the other Fiend challenge, I think I said I'm just blasting through it because nobody wants to see me, you know, farming it for karma. So my score was a little bit different, and from now on, it'll be the same thing here. I'm just going to blast through this with the UF and go back and get some points later. Now, I tried to a couple times to just go through and forward Y everybody. Mm-hmm. But what would happen was there would be so many blues out there, it'd be hard not to absorb one by mistake. And I know you said I could have used a different weapon to UT off screen or something that would miss, but I didn't think of that at the time. So I said, I'm just going to blast through this. So another thing we were going to talk about was roll canceling after the chapter 10 video. We're getting back to that, so if you want to explain that.
Yeah, roll canceling. It's really simple. It's pretty much what it sounds like, but the term is generally used for when your guard is broken or to cancel a move. So, for example, there are certain attacks, like the fire breath right there that dragon was doing, that will guard break you, and it will actually guard crush you, meaning it will do a little bit of chip damage. And if you were to just let that animation play out and let Ryu recover, it's significantly longer than cancelling out of it with a roll. So, for example, if you get guard broken by that, or any attack really that guard breaks you, and that just means you get the stagger, like where Ryu does that kind of step backwards.
It just flails backwards, like, what the hell just happened?
Any attack like that you can roll cancel out of, and it's always, generally speaking, it is a good idea to do it. There are some occasions where you don't actually want to do it because of the situation, but they are very much like, you can't really replicate those. It's just one of those things that will happen. But that's something that you really want to practice. And also, if you can roll cancel, you can also ninpo cancel. Basically, if you can cancel, it means you actually have the ability to input a command, and the game will choose your command over playing out the animation that is playing at the moment. So, for example, you'll see it in ninpo cancelling is a really common thing you'll see people do. Like, you'll say if you do a move like XYY with the UF, that's got a horrendous recovery window on it when you slam down to the ground. Whereas if you input ninpo, the game will prioritize your ninpo input over the recovery of that animation. So knowing what you can do that on and what you can't do that on is really important, and it gives you access to some pretty powerful combos too. Like, For example, Pazu, when you do the like XY, XXXX, and then you on landing fire wheels, like if you were to just do that and wait for Ryu to recover, you wouldn't be able to kill Pazu like as quickly as you can with using the ninpo cancel.
There you go.
So some bonus stuff there actually for ninpo as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, what you're saying about
one hit right there, my one hit on that.
What you were saying about those blue orbs, man. Like I was doing this challenge on hard when it's ogres, and God, that's annoying. You know when you're moving around and there's just blue orbs everywhere.
Right.
And of course, without using UTs, I'm like I can't use these. Like I just want them to go away. It's so annoying.
Because you still want to keep your UF.
Exactly, yeah. That's the thing with the UF, and it's also why, in an odd way, in some ways I miss the way the Kitetsu used to function. Because if, for example, you got a bit of health that you didn't want in NGO4, you could equip the Kitetsu and let it drain your health like just 1 pixel into 5%, and then equip the UF again. Whereas in Black, the Kitetsu doesn't drain your health anymore, so you can't do that.
So I went back and fought that for a little bit more points. That's the reason my point total is different. But on this section right here, some people have asked about counterattacks. So I'm just going to kind of go through each weapon and show the different counterattacks. The counterattack X on this really leads into a Zuna drop, and that's one of your best. But of course, you get some, frames there where they can hit you. But that usually always leads into an Azuna drop there. So, I just love that. And then that's the counter XX, which I really don't use that much, but I just
it's really not that great a move. Like, it does look awesome. Like, that second spin kick is so badass. But you only have your invulnerability at the start of that counter attack. So as soon as he starts doing that second kick, your iframes have ran out, so you can get hit pretty easily out of that.
So, and then of course the last one was counter Y, which knocks him down into a Fiend Sealer, which is Y. Or you press Y, and you don't want to, you'll see me do it a little bit later on. I end up doing like the forward Y, because I go to try to move towards the enemy and press Y, but then that inputs as a forward Y because I'm so close to the enemy. So I think here I just got kind of tired of.
The nunchuck counter is pretty similar. Like, it's only got one, for anyone that's wondering. The Dragon Sword and Kitetsu have the same counter. Every other weapon just has one counter attack. It doesn't matter what button you press. Except the Spear gun, obviously, which doesn't have one.
See, that ended up being my forward Y instead of my just my Fiend Sealer. There we go.
Yeah, just the Fiend Sealer. But like this isn't really the best encounter to show it in. But if you're in like close quarters, the nunchuck and flail counter is actually really good because the hitbox on the kick that he does is huge. It's like a full circle around him, pretty much. And it's really cool to like counter attack 3 guys all at once and then just Fiend Sealer them. One of the biggest strengths of the flails and the nunchucks is the hitbox on its Fiend Sealer is huge. So you can hit enemies that are like, yeah, like you can hit enemies that are nowhere near you with that Fiend Sealer because the hitbox is so big.
I actually missed a couple times here when they moved back.
Yeah, I just thought one thing that's important to note here, because these imps, if you notice that swipe they're doing with their left arm, one thing that is a part of the way the difficulty scales in this game, certain attacks on the higher modes will actually guard break you, and that is one of them. When you go into hard, or above, that swipe they do with their left hand, that will actually break your guard. You can't counter-attack that on anything above normal.
So, that's the roll cancel that you can, do to do that. So I think, yeah, these are just the regular counter. Yeah, there's the Fiend Sealer for that. I think I only got it one time.
I love the heavy, I just love the heavy weapon Fiend Sealers. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, see, I missed my input on that. But again, I tried to catch him with the little spinny move, how it catches him and throws him, but that didn't work either. I didn't spend too much time on this. I just went through one pass each time.
I mean, the heavy weapon ones are all virtually the same. You just get like their forward Y equivalent as a counter, which on the lower difficulties is actually pretty insane. As you can see here, like it just one-shots like any man-sized enemy. So I think the only thing it doesn't one-hit kill is the Fiend commandos. The guys that that run like dogs.
Right.
Those guys. I'm never sure like what to call them. Like,
the Fiend Soldiers or something. That's all
Yeah.
I've ever called them. Now here, that's when I realized, man, I just killed everybody. Didn't show the Fiend Sealer for the Dobby. So that's where it's like, man, I got to switch over. So I'm going to switch over to something I know is going to knock him down, which is the, you know, the 4 or the Y with the dragon sword. Right in the nads. That's going to kill anybody.
I'd be interested to know what people's favorite Fiend Sealers are. Let us know in the comments. That's my personal favorites is the Luna for sure. The level 1 Luna in particular, just because of the sound effect, like the wood. When you just do it over and over again on ninjas, and it's like, doof, doof. I just love that noise. It's so good.
The one that to me is the most fun is the flails, just because it's so
that's
violent,
probably my second favorite. Yeah, I think it's because of the way the flails look, especially on level 2. Like they're just giant axe. They look like the world's most like dangerous axe, don't they? The flails at level 2, and like the way he kind of whips it. He doesn't like do it quick. He whips it like a bullwhip almost on him. That looks so cool.
So again, the counter X leads into a forward Y into the Azuna drop. And I mean, that's just such a big, you know, move to go into to help, you know, for recovery or so you don't get hit, to take advantage of the situation. I mean, I do that on a lot of mission mode videos that I'm going to make. You know, you counter an enemy and then all of a sudden Marvis is going to dive bomb or throw fireballs. Well, if you can counter X into an Azuna drop, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. You can also take advantage of the delay of it as well. For anyone, you can probably, if you want to rewind the video, you'll see it. When you do the counter X with the Dragon Sword, they stay grounded for quite a while. So you don't think of it like you have to do counter X and then immediately do forward Y. Because if there's an attack coming that you need a bit of a delay for, you could say do counter X and then just wait a split second and then just go up to their body on the ground and forward wire them off the ground into an Azuna drop.
So that's pretty much it for the counters. I wanted to add that in there again. We're trying to add a lot of information and usefulness, updating it for everybody who may not know some of this information. I know one guy, I made a video and he said about the Stadium Challenge. I posted it on my Xbox Live, just a little clip, and he was, oh, when did you find this out? Last night? And it's like, no, I'm just trying to help people out. He was like, well, there's more. And I said, well, then make a clip. The goal here is to just really, help people out and let people enjoy the game. We've been playing this game for, since 2005, and still get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So that's what we want. People
2004,
to be able to do.
if you count NGO4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that attack right there, by the way, from the Fiends, you can actually counter that. Not a lot of people seem to know that. You know the attack where they cannonball at you on the floor? You can counter
yeah,
that,
yeah. I think
really,
I have.
which is really awesome.
I have that on my on the Stadium Challenge.
Yep.
Just let them roll into me and counter them with the UF, which is great. I think there, I wanted to get some extra points. So you let them roll past you. You can roll, jump away, and on landing.
Yeah.
To charge. So I think that's what I did there. But yeah, if you just want to counter them, that's.
It's also
that's good too.
really hard to time, but you can just wind path directly over that attack. It looks really cool.
I think there I went and saved. Here's the other part of it too. For people, if you do good, hey, and you have plenty of time, save. Going through some of these gauntlets, and it's like, man, what a big hassle. So if you get a chance to save, so you don't have to deal with that again, I recommend doing it.
I mean, look how close that time limit was.
Man,
the one that just went.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was, and that's the reason why I think I saved in the fight before that, because of that time limit. Because, I mean, they can stay underground, and it was just like, man, I don't want to deal with all that again. Because you just never know. It's, we've talked about it again, just save or reload until you get it right. But, you have to have patience to do it, too. That's one thing, one of the, Weevil and I talked about one time, is patience, the skill in Ninja Gaiden. Or Ninja Gaiden Black, and yes, I would say it is. If you're going for a good score. If you're not, just hey, whatever happens, happens. I mean, it's a lot easier to play that way. I know it frustrates some people. Like here, I could have just UT'd with the Dobby, got my 2 UTs, but this is just me. Man, I hate, leaving a ton of UTs out there with all that time left. So
yeah, I mean, these time limits, really, when you think about it, they're pretty generous for like where you are in the game. Like, I mean, you've got your UF here, you've got the Debilero here, you've like all your weapons are leveled up here. So it's kind of why I wish Black had an HP1 karma system in it. I wish you could select which karma system you wanted.
Yeah, that would be great. Now you look at the time limit on that. I mean, what was it, like 30-something seconds? But then I go into this.
I think it was 40 odd for that one. Yeah.
Look at this poor rat. Watch him catch on fire right there. But now you look at this time limit. Now there's 4 guys and it's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I mean, and this is one of those hard ones to make. If if you have maybe a level 3 Dobby, it's not that bad. But even with the low health UF charging up UTs, I mean, I run it down pretty good, and that's even starting with a UT. Now,
yeah, that's true. I mean, chaining Essence wasn't like commonplace really early on.
But here's something: don't flip out of this until the time limit, because as soon as you flip out, that time limit is going to stop. So just be careful of that. That's one for sure you don't want to. Let me jump out and get a regular start, because you'll lose all your points.
Yeah. Look at the range. That's a really good showcase there for the range of the Debilero's UT. Like, look how far away that guy is that you just killed, and yet that UT is still able to hit him.
And I think it hits even on with the level 1.
Oh yeah, I don't think you get range on the level. I think it's just damage.
So this time limit was a little tough. So the thing you want to do is just go through and not absorb the essence. Oops. I was like, wait, oh crap. I don't know why.
Not sure where he was going with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I was really surprised, because then you got to start that encounter over with.
Yeah, I just had a thought. You know that rotate Y of the Warhammer? Wouldn't it be really cool if you could? You know how there's like there's that that XX like slash kick animation with the dragon sword when they're at really low health. Wouldn't it be awesome if like the rotate Y with the Warhammer like decapitated the fiends if you got them low health enough and it just tore their head off? Because that's basically what Rachel does to it, isn't it, in the cutscene in Chapter 4?
Yeah, you should be able to do the same thing as them. See, there's the good ninpo cancel that we were talking about. If I followed through with that other Y.
Yeah, there it is again. Look, like if you hadn't ninpo'd, you'd have got hit there. And that attack, people, if you want to see a good chunk of damage, let that attack hit you. Even on normal, you're like, oh my god, what happened to my health? That attack does so much damage.
Well, I think, again, I show this a few ways. Of course, one with the Dobby, and then the lunar explosion here. It's such a good attack, it really is.
It is. This is an interesting thing about this boss, because I've tried this. I think it was on my speedrun, and I've stopped using firewheels on him because there seems to be some correlation of like the amount of hits you do triggers him to do that ice pillar attack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you are adding a little bit of damage with the firewheels, but the time it costs you versus just doing like forward YYY or forward YYX incendiary. Like, it's actually slower to use firewheels, like, if he does a pillar attack, because when he does a pillar attack, that costs you, like, a good 8 or 9 seconds, because you have to just dodge around and evade it.
Well, that last fight, I showed just charging 2 UTs, and then versus this one, which is just fighting and then killing him. Look at that, my firewheels killed him. But I actually scored 1,000 more points, a little more than 1,000 more points versus the other fight. So, but anyway, yeah, the firewheels killing him, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's something that we hopefully will be able to explain that in the next video, is how the scoring system actually works for encounters, because that's something that it's something that when people sometimes ask a question about like going for UTs versus a time limit, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people know like how that system actually works. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in the next video.
Well, you know, it's funny. We all had all this stuff planned out, and we were going to talk about this in this chapter. But you know, again, it goes so fast. You know, with just all the information we want to show.
This one-shots him, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought so.
But see, you know, if you want to jump early at the very beginning and start charging release a little bit early, I mean, if you just rolled over and started charging versus jumping charging, you know, you lose probably, you know, 2,500 on points. So just that little bit helps. Here I kind of suicide right here to just show again the lunar explosion. It's such a great weapon, or such a great move on these bosses. But I just get in the lava. Yeah,
that was nice.
I hit him in his hoo-ha. That's why he died so fast.
Man, why can't he do that on? Why couldn't he have done that on my last run? I would have gotten a good time if he had done that.
So again, on the flame worm, I showed the Dobby, only the Dobby and the UF, because I showed, you know, other ways to fight the electric worms in chapter 10. On this right here, I'm showing a few different ways to fight Smoggin. You can do this on the mission mode. That's where a lot of it. You know, if you're going to farm, you know, roll under that and charge. You know, that's what you do on this right here. But I wanted to show this with the Dobby just in case people are having problems with him at the bottom. I don't like doing any of this at the bottom. It always seems at the top. You know, you get a lot more consistency with this.
Yeah, you also eliminate one of his attacks on top. You know his fireball, where he like coughs a fireball at you? He never does that when you're up top. He only does that when you're on the ground floor.
Yeah, so again, you know, make it easier and eliminate one of his attacks. So that's
and that attack hurts too, by the way, for anyone wondering. That's one of his most powerful attacks. It's just generally people only ever fight him on the top floor, so like you never see it. You never see it hit. But that attack does a hell of a lot of damage.
So I think here I just show the regular. This is just going to be the speed kill with the low UF. Oh man, I forgot the kills, the time and the kills again.
I can grab them.
You got it real fast because this is going to happen pretty quick. So again, this is just, I mean, for anybody who's going to buy the UF, you might as well buy it low health and use it for this guy right here. I mean, because it happens that fast. I was a little nervous because I usually always jump in the lava. But you know what?
Yeah, you never want to burn a talisman doing that, do you?
But you know, you get so many rebirths coming up. I mean, I pass up on a lot of them coming up.
You get a lot for free on normal.
That's it. So what was the time? It was like 42?
The time and kills is 42 minutes and 154 kills for chapter 12.
So there you go, guys. It went by fast. Hope everybody enjoyed the information. We'll see you in chapter 13.
See you next time, guys.